What's up, Chicago? We are here in Elk Grove at Real Time Sports Bar. Let's do it, guys. A special CHGO Bears After Dark. Enjoying our night, getting ready for some CHGO Cubs action here in a little bit.
It's Shota day.
Shota on the bump. CHGO Cubs postgame show coming up later tonight. But first, doing a little CHGO Bears action. We appreciate everybody hanging out. Make sure you tip in your bartenders. They're doing an excellent job here at Real Time Sports. Drinking some Blue Moon, drinking some whiskey, doing a little bit of frisky, having some fun. My guy, Kevin Kaduk, to my right. Jake Flannigan to my left. I am your host, Greg Braggs Jr. from CHGO Bears. Gary Ross is in the house. Let's go, Gary. Gary. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun here before the Cubs' first pitch. Showed on the bump, like we said, but got to get into some CHGO Bears talk about, the best bets here in 2024. Our guys at Circa Sports, make sure you're hitting up their sports book when you're hitting up some of this action that we're going to be talking about. Cody Delmendo from CHGO Cubs, one of our best gambling guys. Wouldn't you say? Is he our best, or do you fade Cody?
I usually bet with Cody. I don't think I've ever won with Cody. I'm the cooler. I cool off Cody.
You cool off Cody?
Yeah, so.
Interesting. Well, when he comes on, we'll have to see how he feels about that.
I'm on a heater right now because I won the Derby. Biggest bet win of my life on the Derby.
Yeah, you did.
I did an exacta box. Great. And
then you and Mark Potash nailing the Derby.
Yeah, he and I. Yeah, it's great. And then I had another couple little ones hit, so I'm feeling good right now.
There we go.
My wife's not a big fan of this. She's like, you're going to cool off quick.
Yeah, well, hey, we're going to have some fun with this, going over some different odds. We've been putting some graphics up here the last couple weeks. Offensive Rookie of the Year odds. Caleb Williams at plus 205. Jaden Daniels at plus 610. Marvin Harrison Jr., the Bears do play a lot of these different rookies this year. Jaden Daniels, MHJ, J.J. McCarthy, Drake May. I mean, we're going to see a lot of different rookies here this season. But obviously, Caleb Williams, the odds-on favorite right now to win Rookie of the Year. So let's start there. Kevin, obviously there's a lot of expectation, hype. OTAs last week kind of humbled some people a bit, I had a rough practice, so now everybody's scrambling. We even had a guy come up and ask us, are these reports true? Did he have 7 interceptions and get benched? No, do not believe the aggregate accounts. Just listen to Nick Moriano's reporting. Stop listening to the clickbaiters.
Absolutely. It's been a bad week for aggregators across the board. But you talk about Caleb Williams, plus 205 right now to win that Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I think you just look at that list and, it's not sexy, to bet the favorite. You always want to kind of go down the list and find your guy. But look, we're Bears fans, and I don't know. I don't see anyone else on that list that has a supporting cast like Caleb Williams does.
The one that sticks out to me, there's 2 actually. It's Xavier Worthy with KC. I don't think he'll get enough, but Keon Coleman is the one for me if you're looking to kind of take a risk.
Sure.
He's in Buffalo. He's with Josh Allen. They got rid of Diggs.
Yep.
The opportunity and the ball should be there. I'd throw 10 on that.
And he's a media darling already with his viral clips and everything. So I could see that. I actually like that pick, Jake.
But I hope Caleb Williams is the Rookie of the Year. Don't get me wrong.
So if you want to sprinkle a little on Keon and then just kind of back it up with I'll take doubling my money any day.
Sure.
Well, I mean, how are we feeling about J.J. McCarthy at plus 1,500? I mean, I know I've soured on him. I didn't like the idea of him being a top 10 pick or even a top 5 pick when it was like rumored he might move into the top 5. He did end up being a top 10 pick. But at the same time, you talk about great situations. You got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. They've, always been a pretty solid team here the last few years.
Best head coach in the division, and Kevin O'Connell, in my opinion, as well.
You
offensive
think
play
so?
caller, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I wanted him here.
Okay.
It didn't work out.
You are a big, you're a big Kevin guy.
I mean, the guy in Detroit might have something to say about that. What do you feel?
I think in the long run, Kevin O'Connell will end up.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
Interesting.
Especially with the offensive side of things.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do think as much as I've, downplayed the idea of J.J. McCarthy being a top 10 pick, there's no denying the situation that he's in. And at plus 1,500, you get a little bit of juice there. So I think there's a worthiness. I know our guy Stephen Nicholas, our producer at CHGO Bears, does such a fantastic job. I know he's very high on J.J. McCarthy, a lot higher than I am. He's got a lot of prove it for me. He's got to prove it. But I know everybody talks about his intangibles, all the cliches. But at the same time, there's no denying the situation he's falling into.
I'm in the same boat with you, Braggs. I do need to see something from J.J. McCarthy. Obviously, he was not asked to do a lot at Michigan. He was more of the game manager. Didn't need to open things up, but that's what he was. And I think part of me going to that draft process, in Moneyball, they say, the whole thing was, is this prospect selling jeans? Does he look good in a pair of jeans? Is that what you're going for? And to me, that's kind of J.J. McCarthy right now. Not to say he can't prove it and step out of it.
Okay.
And as our friend Matt Nagy in the chat says, J.J. McCarthy is surrounded by weapons and as a play calling coach who knows what he's doing. I agree with that, but he's also playing in the toughest division.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing that Caleb Williams is up against. Caleb Williams is a much better quarterback, and I think he will prove to be a better quarterback. So I think if you're reaching on that list and you want to find some value, maybe go Keon, whatever. I do love remember on draft night, Roma Dunze said I want to win Rookie of the Year.
Yes, yeah, but it's like.
And I think he's a little. Is he in our graphic? I think he was like plus 2,500. Yeah, so
that may be difficult to do. I think
so.
Steven, as great as Steven is, he may be a little bit guilty of what I've suffered from for the last year plus of kind of falling in love with a quarterback, maybe a little too much. And I think
he's got a crush.
I think he's crushed. I think he's scouted J.J. McCarthy since he's played like junior high football games. From what I've heard. He's been on him since high school early on, and he's all about J.J. McCarthy. But hey, maybe he ends up being the Messiah for the Vikings. I hope not. I hope that J.J. McCarthy sucks. I hope Jared Goff sucks, and I hope Jordan Love suck.
Well, it's just like the thing with J.J. is I was hoping that Minnesota was going to sell the farm to draft him at 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Like, give up all these picks, mortgage your future like the Panthers did, but they didn't. They were patient and let the draft fall to them, and then they ended up with him at 10.
You heard the rumors today, right? About how they were trying to trade up to get Malik Neighbors, and if they were going to potentially trade Justin Jefferson, but that trade didn't work out.
Right.
So, who knows the validity of that, but that was out there today.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
changes everything.
Yeah, and their patience showed, some value there. So now you have an opportunity here to, springboard yourself and try to convince Justin Jefferson to re-sign with your team. You don't want to lose that guy, and I know he wants to be, on a winning team.
He'd look great in the AFC, wouldn't he?
He would look so good in the AFC.
Send
him over there. Yeah. Send him over there. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I hope he's a bust, but Bears got Caleb Williams, so I'm feeling good about where we're at. The CHGO Bears guys, Adam Hogue, Mark Harmon, and Nick Moriano today, they did their draft of the top 32 quarterback options here in 2024.
I listened to the first 10 minutes on the drive down here. It was pretty entertaining to start. I can't wait to hear the rest of it.
The last 10 minutes are maybe even more entertaining.
Well, I did get a peek at the. Should I spoil it? But it's probably not even a spoiler. Tyson Bagent ends up being among the top 32 quarterbacks. So I'll give you one guess
Top
who picked him.
26. Top 26.
Top 26. That's right, yeah.
I mean, well, you just never can sell Mark Carman short on what he is capable of with his love for Tyson Bagent. But it was a good exercise to understand, like, the situation that Caleb Williams and the Bears are in right now and how good and valuable it is. I don't want to spoil it, but, looking at a top 10 situation of all quarterbacks here in the NFL, and the Bears are one of those teams that can say they're in there. I mean, so if JJ works out or not, I love competition. Hey, competition breeds, the best of the best, right? Yep. So I'm not afraid of JJ McCarthy. If they're solid, so be it. Hopefully we're better.
Yeah. And that's what Caleb Williams, you're starting to sound like our quarterback now. That's what he said when he went to Oklahoma. He's like, Spencer Rattler's here. I don't care. I want competition. And he went out and beat him and then, won that job and then transferred to USC and, became who he became.
So I have a question. There's an offensive rookie of the year. There's a defensive rookie of the year. There's no special teams rookie of the year. I think special teamers can make the all-rookie team. But is there a scenario where Torrey Taylor wins defensive rookie of the year, or is that
no way.
Not kosher?
No way.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I would say no way, but you're right. I mean,
And is he even eligible?
Chicago is the city of special teams. We revere our special teams guys.
They probably need to create that award,
Yeah.
the Special Teams Rookie of the Year trophy with Devin Hester.
Robbie Gould and Pat Manley, and Devin Hester entering the Hall of Fame here in just a couple months.
Well, and the new emphasis with the rule changes. I mean, I know we don't have to get into it, but Tariq Cohen now signing with the Jets. Maybe like what Robert Saleh said, there's going to be over 100 touches per season now with special teamers compared to what it was in the past. It's like a big increase. So.
I'm excited for Tariq Cohen. I'm always going to root for him. Now he's paired up with Aaron Rodgers, so just have to see how that goes. Appreciate everybody hanging out in the chat. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel like I said, if you're not subscribed by now, what are you doing with your life? Ravi, you better be. I know you are. We love you, Ravi. We just don't love Matt Nagy. No, I love you too. So appreciate everybody here at Elk Grove, hanging out at Real Time Sports, getting ready for the Chicago Cubs and Shota on the bump. But first, want to give a shout out to our guys over at Sunnyside. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. What are some of the amazing features that make the brand or product awesome? One-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu with over 100 strains to choose from. Easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Sunnyside is Illinois' favorite dispensary with locations in the city. Wrigleyville, we're going to be over there on Friday, getting ready for our Friday 120 Club. We appreciate Sunnyside helping us out there.
They've got locations from Champaign to Beloit.
Yeah, they're everywhere. And if you're starting out, Sunnyside has expert guidance and brands we know you'll love, like Good News and Mindy's. If you're a pro, we've got you covered with over 100 strains on the menu and new ones added weekly. We know you'll love the Cresco and Flora Skull. Incredible quality and consistent products. It's easy to order online, and we're here to help in store. So make sure you hit up all their different types. Mindy's, Good News, Cresco, High Supply, Wonder. They've got it all. So, if you want, make sure Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is where you go to hit up your people. Head to sunnyside.shop and use code HICHGO at checkout for 35% off favorite brands like Cresco, Good News, and more to elevate your purchase. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders.
And it is time to get ready for the summer ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. And they have hundreds of options to choose from, the latest styles, so you're always bound to find the perfect pair. to match what you like. And they probably even have a style in your favorite team's colors. Back in the studio in the West Loop, we proved that, right?
Yeah, we got all kinds of different lenses.
Yep. I wear Shady Rays pretty much while driving, while running, whatever. I've got my pair right here. Best part, if these things ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, if I crush them or whatever, step on them.
You're looking good.
Thanks. I will not sweat it because Shady Rays has the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. Plus, if you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. The Shady Rays team always has your back with personal and fast support. Exclusively for our CHGO listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 35% off Polaroid sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
And may I just second that to say, any pair of sunglasses I've had from Shady Rays has been great, but my favorite is when I drive and I have those polarized lenses because it makes a difference.
Yep.
And every time I'm driving to work, every time I'm driving to soccer, picking up the kids, when I'm out there and the sun's beating in my eyes, they make a difference.
So I just ordered some Shady Rays here the other day. They came in less than a week.
Wow.
Like, it was like 4 days, and they were in my mailbox. And I ordered 3 of them, and then they gave me an option, like, because I ordered these sunglasses, have an extra one for only $18. So it was a mystery pair, like the mystery pair for $18. So I was like, screw it. I love a good mystery. And so I added that on. Now I got 4 pairs. You got my wife a set. They're not all just for me.
Sure.
I was thinking about my wife.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't think about me. She ordered 2 pair like a month ago. And I go, you didn't tell me you were ordering?
Yeah.
And
She got 2 pair. Bragg's got no pair.
No
in that
pair.
Deal.
And so then when I ordered, I actually thought about Jen.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Now, I know this sometimes could be considered like, hey, we're just the guys talking, but maybe this is something more for, to talk about with her. Tell her your true feelings on it.
Yeah, I will, while she takes our daughter right now to get an allergy test. So Addie's getting a shot right now, which she was not, told this was, a shot that was going to happen. So mom's the bad guy here today. Dad's always the good guy. Her birthday's coming up on Friday, so excited for that. So, like I said, getting back into some of the bets that we have that we're going to talk about here today. The Chicago Bears 2024 season odds. A lot of different options here. Super Bowl champs. If you're picking the Bears to win the Super Bowl, that's plus 3,800. NFC champs at plus 1,750. Just to win the NFC North, you get a plus 375. Caleb Williams for MVP, plus 5,000. Caleb Williams, Offensive Rookie of the Year, plus 165. Jalen Johnson and Montez Sweat, if you want to try to get them with Defensive Player of the Year, plus 3,800 for Jalen. Montez, plus 4,000. So that's interesting that Montez is actually get a little more juice with there. Eberflus, Coach of the Year, plus 900. Be interesting to know how that stacks up against the rest of the coaches in the league, because you got to think Eberflus has got a really good shot to win Coach of the Year the same way Matt Nagy, not the Matt Nagy in our chat, the real Matt Nagy that once won Coach of the Year in 2018 for the Bears. Over under 8.5 for regular season wins. I think that's right on the dot. Like, to me, if the Bears win 9 games, that's a success. Anything less than 9 games, I consider a failure and a disappointment. So I think the Vegas has got that right, Alex, as she's helping everybody out here at Real Time Sports. And then, of course, Bears versus Titans week 1, minus 4.5 here with the point spread. So, Jake, after looking these over, is there any that stand out to you? What are your favorites?
Unfortunately, I think the best 2 bets are the last 2, and just kind of keep it small there. I would love if any of the first 8 would hit, but I think it's very difficult, to win an individual award outside of, Caleb Williams winning that Offensive Rookie of the Year, which you can see the odds there.
What's up, Michael?
Everything's great.
How you doing?
Fantastic.
We got Michael in the house. Michael is a Packers fan, ladies and gentlemen. Boo this man! Boo this this man. He's over here helping us out all day, but he is a Packer fan, so we will not let him off the hook for that one as he's helping Jake here. So
I hope that means we get free cheese curds if he's a Packers fan.
It should. It should mean something. We better get something out of it. That's all I know. So, Kevin, while Jake's getting helped out here.
So I was going to ask you about that Caleb Williams MVP, plus 5,000. Obviously, to win that as a rookie, very tough. We've seen in the past where the Bears fans bet up the Mitch Trubisky MVP. Remember like what it started out at, and then there were so many people.
As a rookie,
do you remember? It wasn't when he was a rookie, obviously.
Right.
I actually just came off. I actually took a shot in the dark at Wemby to win NBA MVP. It was like plus 10,000 or plus 15,000. I thought, what the hell? Actually, the value there was, and our friend Rick Camp bet it. He got plus 900 for Wemby to win defensive
first team.
Yeah, and that I didn't make that bet because I'm just a dumb gambler. But is there any part of you that says, okay, let me put $10 on Caleb Williams to win MVP?
No, there's not.
Not even $10.
But I'm also.
Has a rookie ever won MVP? I mean, honestly.
Did Dan Marino win MVP his rookie year? That's the only person that sticks out to me.
According to the chat, Jim Brown won the MVP award.
There we go.
Jim Brown won MVP.
The only one.
You have to be one of the greatest running backs of all time to do it. And play in a league that was 12 teams at the time?
Yeah. Hey, but he's one of the greatest, no doubt. It's just really, really tough. I'm trying, like I said, even the wins, like the 8.5 regular season wins, I see that because I look at their schedule and I say, okay, there's 7 wins for sure. That's how I feel. So I could talk myself into 8, 9, 10. It could happen. And Cody Delmendo from CHGO Cubs will be joining in just a few minutes here to talk a little bit more about this and get his perspective. But that's mine.
I mean, to me, who's taking the under on the 8.5 wins?
No, don't do that. I'm trying to temper my expectations.
I don't know if I've come across anybody that's taken the under so far.
But we do this every year.
Every year, you're right.
In Chicago.
Every year.
There's no way that they're going to go under. And, I remember 2 years ago, like Luke Stuckmeyer was one of the only people to go under when, they end up with 3 victories. Yeah. So.
It's a real pessimist there.
But that being said, how many wins do you have them with?
I'm in that at least. I think they're over, but I'm a hopeless optimist when it comes to the Bears, and I always get beaten down. But I think when you look at this, and
not beaten down enough though, because we haven't learned our lesson.
I don't like the schedule. I am terrified of that stretch to end the season. And for as much as you guys have talked about it on the podcast, the thing that I hate about it's not the backloaded divisional games. It's that you backloaded it with divisional games and then stuck a trip out to San Francisco right at the end of it too, or right kind of in the middle of it.
You have 5 divisional games, and in between those 5 is a San Francisco matchup.
And 2 Thursday games too in that stretch.
Yes.
It's likely going to be a flip of last year's experience as a Bears fan. So I'm trying to prepare myself for that. I'm hoping that's not the case. But, like the beginning of the season was complete heartbreak, an awful start to the season, and then they got that momentum, they got your hope up, and then they came a little short. I kind of feel like it'll be the flip this year where they may win 2 or 3 of their first 4 or 5 games, and you're feeling good about it. But then, I mean, like you said.
Which teams stay healthy, which teams don't.
Every year.
When it comes up. Hopefully they get that momentum and don't let go of it. And I think that's possible. I do think that's possible.
Frame a lot of those games early in the season. You got the Titans game, week 1. You got the Panthers game before the trip to London. Those are must-win games. And I know that sounds silly early in the season, but to your point, they have to stack up as many wins as they can before they get into the gauntlet that is the second half of the season, starting with Green Bay in week 11.
The Green Bay is going to be really good this year, and it's. I think people are kind of underestimating it, and for me to say that,
I mean, you guys just sat here and said Kevin O'Connell is the best coach, and then you said, well, what about Campbell?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how did you guys not even mention Matt LaFleur, who I think is the best coach?
He's very good.
I think he's the best coach in the division. So
everybody can have their. He thinks Dan Campbell. You think
Flus.
Yeah, I think.
Prove
Kevin
us wrong,
O'Connell.
Flus.
That's right. I hope so.
I know. I need somebody to apologize to Matt Eberflus for me on my behalf because I fired him 4 or 5 times last year.
Listen, he
I'll
deserved
do it again, damn it.
He deserved to be fired at one point last season. He's lucky. He really is. He's fortunate that he still has his job and the organization stuck with him, and it probably will prove to be the right decision. We'll see. I think he did show a lot and was able to navigate some very unpleasant circumstances.
I understand the logic of keeping him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, so I'm not going to fight against that. And now that they have decided that, and you have this
Sure.
whole new operation with the offensive coaching staff getting completely retooled, obviously Caleb Williams comes into the fold, all these different offensive weapons you bring in. To me, now the responsible thing to do is dig your feet in the dirt and give this whole operation 2 years.
Yes.
You know, do not, barring something drastic
Barring
happening,
5 wins or less.
you know what I mean?
That's how I feel.
There has to be context within it all. But yes, barring something catastrophic, let this whole thing marinate for 2 years and then see where
Let's say
you're
they
at.
finish 7-10 again, and 3 of the losses happen in similar fashion as the 3 losses last
Right.
year, which was like these epic collapses.
Right. I will.
Is that enough?
Well, I will fire him on our post-game shows. But at the same time, if I'm trying to be responsible,
Are
to
you
the
are you
whole
promising not to bring the bag out?
Because my whole thing is, if you do then get rid of Eberflus in the scenario you just said, 7 games, 3 of their losses are his fault. Well, now you're losing the whole offensive coaching staff you just spent all of last offseason putting together.
Right.
And that hurts the development of one Caleb Williams. And we've been down this road so many times with Justin Fields and Jay Cutler, obviously, year after year, getting a different offensive coordinator. So I just
Mitch
think...
Trubisky.
Yeah.
And another guy.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, Mitch
I like
had
the
John
fact that we
Fox
just
and
went from talking about being hopelessly optimistic to then talking about the worst case scenario.
Well,
with
we have
Flus.
to cover all our bases, yes, here.
We're
in
bipolar
Chicago.
Bears fans. That's basically
So if you
what
want an
happens.
optimist to join you guys, we've got Cody Delmendo right now. Coming
That's
off
right.
a Cubs win, we got Showdown on the Hill tonight.
Cody
I'm gonna take
Delmendo.
off. Thank you.
Our guy,
Thank you,
Jake
Jake.
Flannigan, joining us. Give a round of applause for Jake Flannigan as Cody joins the CHGO Bears After Dark set. And while he does, I want to give a shout out to Butcher Box. Easily find high quality meat and seafood you can trust. 100% grass fed, free range organic chicken, pork raised, crate free, and wild caught seafood. Humanly raised, no antibiotics or added hormones. Delivered right to your doorstep, Cody. Free shipping, always curated to customize box plans. A variety of high quality cuts at an amazing value. Exclusive member deals, recipe inspiration, guides, tips, and hacks. Butcher Box is the way to go. You get less trips to the grocery store, always prepared with meat in the freezer, curated tips and recipes based on your box value. The prices and the savings are as good as it gets. You're not going to find those kind of things at the grocery store. So go to Butcher Box. They're offering our listeners an amazing offer where new users get free meat plus $20 off your first box. So join today using our link at butcherbox.com/CHGO and use code CHGO to receive this exclusive offer today before time runs out.
So I know there's a lot of people here at Real Time Sports who have never heard of CHGO or have seen us. We are a digital sports network that offers daily podcasts for the Bears, the Bulls, the Cubs, the White Sox, and Blackhawks, plus the Sky, Fire, Red Stars. But we also do events, and we are going to London. Braggs is going to London. I'm going to London. Jake might be going to London. It's going to be a great time, and you can join us through True Fan Travel. When you sign up to take on the Bears in London with us, you will get a flight to London, which is an optional add-on, 4 to 5 star hotel accommodations close to all the action, a welcome event held at our favorite London pub, private boat cruise on the River Thames. How do you say it?
Thames.
I can't say that. I'm bad at pronouncing things. An all-inclusive tailgate party close to the Tottenham Stadium. plus an upper-level ticket to the Bears game, which is the golden ticket there in London.
Yep.
Transportation to and from the game, on-site trip coordinators, breakfast at the hotel every morning, and then you just get to hang out with us for the entire time, which is going to be good. So, hey, head over to truefantravel.com to make your deposit and secure your spot. If you're wondering about TrueFan Travel, they have done this a lot. Over 8,000 fans have traveled on over 145 trips. They are your passport to the world of sports. Custom travel packages that include tickets, 5 to 4 star accommodation, and unique local experiences, making an unforgettable sports getaway. So head over there to truefantravel.com. Even if you don't want to go to London, there might be something else that catches your eye. So truefantravel.com. Hope to see you over there in London. I hope to go to Japan, by the way.
I was going to say, can I start my petition for us to go to Japan?
Yes.
I'm already in line for that. I'm banging the drum.
Yes.
I'm down to go to Japan.
Can I come?
Braggs, you can always
as your 120 club partner.
Braggs, you're always welcome.
Your PIC.
Yeah.
That's an amazing.
Cubs, Dodgers, Japan next year.
Yes.
Let's do
Jake
it.
Flannigan, that's an amazing announcement we just made. We're going to Japan next year.
Yeah.
Let's
sure.
go.
Why not? Put it together.
Absolutely.
I do want to bring up a tweet you had last night, and I assume it was made when the Cubs blew the lead in the ninth inning. Your tweet was, Cubs suck, White Sox suck, bring on the Bears season.
Yeah.
Did you retract that after the 5-run 10th?
I am a glass case of emotion right now with the Cubs, and I know you are. I'm preaching to the choir here with you, Cody, but like I am fed up. The hitting. If it's not the hitting, it's the bullpen.
Yeah.
If it's not the bullpen, it's the hitting. And I'm just taking,
Sometimes it's the
consistent,
defense. Yeah.
Right. We're just taking consistent kicks to the nuts every single night with our Chicago baseball teams. And I know the White Sox, they just want their fans just want to be put out of their misery at this point. So I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm counting down the days. We're like 50 days away from the first day of camp. We're 99 days from the first day, week 1 of the NFL season. I am counting down the days, and that's sad because I want the Cubs to make the playoffs. I'm excited to watch Shota on the bump tonight.
Yeah.
I'm excited for our post-game show here at Real Time Sports Bar, but at the same time, I'm a little pissed off right now. Can the Cubs get it together?
Yeah, I think they can. That everything that you just said, I'm like the opposite. I'm not ready to know what the Bears are going to be yet. I used the entire summer to build up my delusional optimism about the Bears every year. I'm mentally not ready to let them affect me every Sunday yet. I'm not ready, Braggs.
I get it.
And there is more hype in this Bears season, and it's not even like Super Bowl expectations, but I've never seen more hype in a team my entire life at this point. I mean, they go to OTAs for one day.
Year.
Maybe
we
except
did this
for
last year.
Probably, yes. You had one bad OTA. The very first day of OTAs is terrible, and everyone's freaking out, all right? And it's May, brother, all right? So I hear you. I'm just not mentally ready for it.
You're not there yet.
Cody, I have a question for you. There was a viral TikTok, and it was basically this guy looking at, this is me during NFL season, and it was my favorite NFL team lost. Man, that really sucks.
Yeah.
One of 17 games. And then it was like me during baseball season, one of 162 games, and the guy is throwing F-bombs and losing, and like everyone was tagging you.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so. What do you think that describes you?
In some ways, yeah. Especially like right now, the Cubs have lost 10 of 14 because they won yesterday. I think that'd be 10 of 14. Before yesterday, 10 of 13.
But how much do you wear a Bears loss compared to how much you wear the Cubs losses?
The thing when the Bears lose, it's like you have a whole week to have to like deal with it.
It's miserable.
Yeah, and with baseball, it's like in some ways, obviously feel worse for guys like Sean and Herb with the Sox because they're just so bad and they can't even cheer for losses because the best they can do is finish 10th.
They're just
or
getting
get the 10th pick in the draft. But like I'm with baseball, it's like no matter how bad the Cubs are going to ruin my night one night, you're always going to be able to wake up and see them play the next day and hope for something different to happen. And I guess with me, like yeah, I can get like that guy in that video a lot because there are times where I expect more, and then there's times when I don't expect more. And so I guess lately I've been that guy because they've not been playing well. But if they're playing well like they did in April, you watch a loss and then maybe they lose 2 in a row or something like that. It's frustrating, but if you're playing well over a certain amount of time, I don't get like that. So it just depends on how they're playing. And right now, with how they've been playing in the month of May, I've been that guy for sure.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on our show, not necessarily on social media, but definitely in like my apartment at home.
They haven't done a nosedive like last May in 2023. So I think that's the baseball is such a long season, but the thing that doesn't get said too is football's a pretty long season. Not especially now that it's 17 games, could go to 18. Like
sure,
you lose those first 3 or 4 games, and you feel like the season's over, and you were wearing a bag over your head after the 3rd or 4th game of the season. I think that was the 3rd week, and then the 4th game they blow that crazy lead to Denver, and it seemed like this is over. By the end of the year, they had played themselves.
We were in the hunt. We were
in
the hunt.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of it, extending to 17 games, an extra team making the playoffs from both conference. So the NFL is trying to keep everybody on that, that leash as far as they can.
I would say that, and maybe it's just the fact that over the course of my life, the Cubs have had more success than the Bears. So it's easier for me to be more optimistic about them than the Bears ever. But I will say that it's easier for me to wake up the next day and watch a team play again than want to watch the Bears when they're not good. Like, I guess the last few years it hasn't been so bad because at least Fields gave me a reason to want to watch.
Right.
But there have also been seasons where, like, dude, I don't even turn the game on.
Yeah.
And so, like,
we call that the John Fox era.
Yeah. Or
No, it really was.
Or even like, the end of the Nagy era, the season before they drafted Fields, like with the whole Trubisky or Nick Foles, and that one random playoff game against the Saints that I didn't care about.
Right.
Like that was
a weird year too because that was the COVID year, so there were no fans in the stands. So
man, they beat the Super Bowl champions. Tom Brady
with the losing, forgetting what down it
was. 100%. Luke Stuckmeyer in the house. He's distracting.
We're wearing the same shirt on.
My guy, Gary Ross. Don't let Luke Stuckmeyer distract you from the show that's going on. Luke, walk away from Gary. Dude, don't give me that look. Don't give me that look, sir. Here we go. Old man Luke coming up to yell at me. Yes, sir?
First of all, you're in my neighborhood. Second of all, they're still moving to Arlington Heights.
Okay.
Third of all, did you bring all the clothes of mine that you still have in the back
They're
of your car?
They're in my car. Yes, sir.
He is my jacket, too.
I will be giving out Luke Stuckmeyer's clothes and Joey Spath's jacket.
Those are the
here.
merch giveaways.
Yeah,
yes.
that's going to be the giveaway here. So, Cody, let's get into it here before we, close the shop and get ready for the Cubs game with Showdown on the Bump here tonight. Like we were talking the bets, and you're one of the best,
Thank you.
Yeah, you are. I mean, you're the guy we lean on,
Yeah.
when we're gambling, our life away at CHGO Sports Studios. We ask Cody Delmendo, what do we throw our money down on? So let's get into it because, we were talking about it earlier, the Chicago Bears 2024 season odds. I sent you the list. What stood out to you, from the different options that were given?
Maybe not so much for the odds, but I mean the over/under of 8.5 right now. Like for me, like gambling advice aside, like for me, my expectations for this season are to win 10 games. They won 7 last year, and they should have won 10. And Fields was the quarterback. Now you draft a guy that everyone's saying is supposed to be better than him. I don't care if you're going to go through rookie ups and downs or not. Like the roster is significantly better than at the beginning of last year. I think if you don't blow 3 10-point leads, you win 10 games that year.
They had 3 different games where they had an over 90% chance of winning. 2 of which they had a 99% chance of winning and found a way to lose those games. So at the very least, you say they won 7, should have won 10. They definitely should have at least won 8. Or should have at least won 9.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't take all 3, but at the same time, you add that with the fact that they have, like, from a strength of schedule standpoint, at this point in the season, in the offseason, it's like the third easiest strength to schedule, or one of the easier strength to schedules, of any team in the NFL. I think you add those two things in and the improvements of the roster that Ryan Poles has made. I'm with you that, like, we keep going around, like, show me somebody that's taking the under on the 8.5.
I just feel like.
And, like, Vegas, they're, like, tempting. They're really.
That was going to be my question to you, Cody. We've seen in the past, like, the Chicago gambling block is, like, just this, like, monolith that will just go one way. And, like, to the point where, like, they moved the odds for Mitch Trubisky MVP in 2019. Do you think that 8.5 could creep up to 9.5 by the time the season starts?
Yeah. I mean, I certainly don't see it moving down.
Right.
I'm not someone who places future bets this early, but on a regular basis. But I mean, 8.5 just seems too low to me, man.
Mm-hmm.
I know the division is significantly better. I think, to me, and I think a lot of people feel this, like, it's Detroit, Green Bay, and the Bears with Minnesota at the bottom right now. But, it's the NFL. Who knows? Anything can happen, right?
Right.
But at the same time, that extra wild card spot is there, and I just think the Bears are going to be playing with something. They're going to be playing with some reason to care in December this year.
100%.
I think, and you need 9 wins to make the playoffs these days? 9, 10 wins? Like, I don't know. I just think that they'll be right there in that wild card race at the very least. I know it won't be easy with this division, but
and I think like we were talking about earlier, the indicator will be how many wins they can get before they play Green Bay Week 11. You've got to stack. You got to be like 7-2. And I know that sounds crazy, but they have a ton of winnable games on their schedule early on. And they have to take advantage. They have to.
When I think about last year and how, like, a lot of their flaws at the beginning of the year is, like, they didn't have a pass rush, but now they have one with Montez Sweat.
Right.
They got some really intriguing defensive players on in the front line and then in the secondary as well. I feel like the defense is the strong point of the team. And on offense, obviously you got to get Williams acclimated, but you got a good run game. You got more weapons now than just DJ Moore.
Weapons.
I just feel like there's enough there to believe that team can win 9 games.
I agree. The defense needs to carry. The run game needs to carry.
Yeah.
But you are with a rookie quarterback, and it is a whole new offense for everybody. And so those are going to be the hurdles they have to overcome early. And luckily, the NFL was nice enough to give them, some winnable games early on, like the Titans and the Colts, all due respect, the Rams, the Panthers, the
you look
Jaguars.
at the AFC schedule last year. They had to go to Kansas City. They had to go to Los Angeles on a Sunday night. It was tough. This is a little. The toughest thing is probably one going to Houston, but you do have that nice warm up game in Week 1. So you had, I think that worked out well for them. And then I think Jacksonville going to London is always hard because you don't know what to expect from all the time change and all the hoopla or whatever, but that's a winnable game. So
when you look at the actual games, like on this graphic, the Bears opened up as 4.5-point favorites against the Titans Week 1. I mean, I don't know a ton about the Titans off the top of my head, but I feel like that number is only going to go up. I don't think that number is coming down unless like an injury happens in training camp or something like that. So off that thought process alone, I would take the Bears now, because I do think that if that line does move, it will go up just because, maybe an injury in training camp or
on
something.
paper, the Bears should blow the Titans out Week 1.
Yeah,
but the uncertainty of how fast Caleb Williams will be able to get acclimated is what keeps it at 4.5. So, if he shows anything in the preseason games, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But, I mean, really, the Bears should kick their ass.
They should, yeah.
But we all said that with the Bears-Packers last year to start the year.
I need a line on the Hall of Fame game. What does that look like?
Man, I am excited for the Hall of Fame game. I'm excited for the Hall of Fame. Devin Hester getting in here, Steve Mongo McMichael, Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers getting into the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Is there anything else, before we, start to transition into getting ready for some Cubs action here? Yeah. It's 6:40, right? First pitch for Shota. So we're 9 minutes away from first pitch. Is there anything else that stands out to you that you wanted to touch on before we call
I
it a
mean,
night.
as far as like a value play, plus 375 to win the division. Like, it's not terrible odds. And listen, Detroit was great last year, and they look like they're going to run it back this year too. But it's also Detroit, and I know we said that last year. You didn't want to fully believe, but like the NFL is as chalky as it can be at times. It's also can be completely different too, as we see teams come out of nowhere every year.
Yep.
I don't think as good as Detroit was last year, I don't know if anyone really expected them to be that good.
And if you're taking the NFC North champs plus 375 for the Bears, then you better take Matt Eberflus for Coach of the Year at plus 900. They work hand in hand.
Yeah.
So because if they're winning the NFC North, that means Caleb Williams is the guy. That means the Bears defense stepped up. That means they're one of the more hype teams week to week.
Well, if you do that, then why aren't you also betting Caleb Williams Rookie of the Year?
Right.
If they went NFC North,
right. They all kind of work together, right? So you're doing a package deal there, a little bit of a parlay.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to bet Caleb Williams to win Rookie of the Year, like, do it now because those odds aren't getting any better. Like, unless like maybe he struggles first couple games. I mean, what's his name from Texas?
Did it go down after the OTA practice? Do you think?
Maybe.
The 7 interceptions. Yeah.
Bears fans panicking on the
NFC
bus.
North News moved the line.
Nick
Moriano moved the line with his reporting.
I wish I knew like what they were last year after the first 2 games for the Texans, because the Texans started off didn't they lose like their first 2 games or something like that with him?
I'd have to go back and look.
I don't remember his stat line at the same time.
I don't work for HSTN, Cody.
all I'm saying is that like maybe you wait a week or 2, and if he does struggle, you might get better odds then. But it's still kind of a bold thing to do then, because even if you get better odds, who's to say things will get better? So I mean, plus 205, for a future bet, that's just not something that I'm interested in.
Tie up your money for that long.
Yeah, right. Dunze plus 2,500. It's interesting, but there's so many weapons there, and I just don't feel like he'll be a consistent target every week.
If Odunze had a good enough season to win Rookie of the Year, it would be Caleb Williams, unless
exactly.
Tyson Bagent is somehow involved.
Well, I know what everybody should be interested in, and that's the CHGO Cubs post-game show coming up here after the Cubs game here. Shota Imanaga on the bump. Luke Stuckmeyer, Ryan Herrera, and our guy Cody Delmendo in the house, going to be breaking down the Cubs' hopeful win. I don't want to jinx it. I mean, I would have just said win, but they've broken me here lately. I was going to check what the record is since our last Friday 120 Club that I attended a few weeks ago. Like, the Cubs were in a great spot. Then I don't come to the Friday 120 Club. Doing my daughter's singing recital. It was your birthday.
Yeah.
And since your birthday, you tanked the Cubs. So now I have to come back to Wrigley here on Friday to save the season. Big of me.
Big of you. Credit to you.
Credit to me.
Yeah.
Credit to me. I mean, I'm a humble guy, Kevin. I'm just here to save a team.
I cooled off the Cubs too. I was there from Friday 120.
That's true.
I talked about cooling off some of Cody's bets that I tail him on.
Yeah, you also ruined the Cubs. So I'm going to come back to save the Chicago Cubs here on Friday. But they're off to a good start. They won last night.
Yeah.
I was pouting, and then they won in extras. I didn't like that they pulled Ben Brown. What the hell was that, Cody? 80 pitches.
Think about the future.
No.
Also, it was 93 pitches, not 80.
Was it 93?
Yeah.
You know what? Fine. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, as a wise man once said.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But if the Cubs, if they can win tonight, then we're looking at a 3-game winning streak here coming up for the Friday 120 Club.
Skyline Chili sucks. That's the sign.
That's the sign. Skyline Chili sucks 100%. My daughter's 6th birthday on Friday, so I'm excited for that.
Did you see there was 2 Brewers fans, and they were basically like the Brewers equivalent of you guys with the signs.
Yes.
And the guy had a Council's a traitor side, and of course traitor was spelled Trader. So he was like the Milwaukee equivalent of the Get a Brain Morans Cardinals fan.
Yes.
Well,
I've the signs, or not the signs, but just the reaction out of Brewers fans related to Craig Counsell have been I mean, everything I expected, but I've actually enjoyed watching it from being in
It's
my
fun.
seat.
Well,
Yeah.
if there's one thing we know, it's that people from Wisconsin are complete morons.
Morans.
Morans.
Yes.
Morans. So that wraps things up here for the early show here for CHGO Bears After Dark, a special here at Real Time Sports Bar in Elk Grove. Getting ready for the Cubs game, the CHGO Cubs postgame show coming up later tonight, live here tonight. So if you're in the area, come out.
Elk Grove. Let's go.
In Elk Grove, Real
Elk Grove
Time
Village.
Sports,
Elk Grove Village. Sorry.
Luke
Come on now.
Stuckmeyer's home. If you come out, you can get a drink bought by Luke Stuckmeyer, have some fun with us. Gary Ross will hit you with some knowledge, as he always does. So thank you all for tuning in. Once again, thank you to everybody in the chat. Hit that like button on your way out. Shout out to Ravi, always saying nice things about me, and Hendricks, Scottish Bear, even Matt Nagy, Omar. Yes, wrapping it up as my Midwestern goodbyes, as I always like to do. So we'll be back on Bears After Dark next Monday with Corey Wooten. He'll be back with me. Other than that, enjoy your night. Enjoy the Cubs game. Come on back for CHGO Cubs postgame later tonight. Until then, thank you, Joey Spathis, for the 1s and 2s. We'll see you here. And always, I'm not going to end it now because you're laughing at me. And always, bear down. End it.